Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm your host, Amanda Lamb. In today's deep dive conversation, we're talking to Five on Your Side producer Pritchard Strong about a family who built a brand new home in Chatham County, and now they've been told it was so poorly constructed, well, that it was going to be easier to tear the whole thing down and start over. So big issues for this family. Pritchard, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So this sounds like a real nightmare for the Malbecks. They had this home built about 3 years ago. What were some of the problems they started to notice?
Yeah, so first, it's a beautiful home from the outside. It looks really nice, newly constructed in a very quiet area out in Chatham County. You wouldn't know from looking at it just from far away that there was any issue. But you go inside, and you can see that there are some issues. Doors that don't latch. There's been drywall, sheetrock that's cracking and tearing at the seams, stuff that you would not expect. The floor is very uneven. There are humps, long humps in the floor. Just a number of issues, cabinets separating from the ceiling, things like that are pretty visible once you walk inside the home.
And certainly not what you would expect, obviously, in a new home. So he had some structural engineers look at the property. What did they tell him about the possibility of fixing these problems?
So the problems are much bigger than the cracks and visual defects that you see in the home. I mean, we're talking about load-bearing walls that are not on the pillars and supported the way that they're supposed to be. That's the cause of some of the uneven floors and some of the cracking and splitting issues. There's issues with the roof not being the correct joist size. All of this stuff has to be repaired. And it just adds up so quickly that to repair it, it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $500,000 is what they had estimated it would cost to fix.
So better to just build a new home, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So now all homes, no matter where they are in North Carolina or anywhere else, they have to be inspected. So there was a building inspector working for the county at the time, Daniel Gunter. He was supposed to look at this home as it was being built. And apparently he missed things, right? I mean, that's what we understand now, that there were some 30 violations.
It appears so, yeah, 30 violations. I mean, structural engineers have looked at this. The county has gone back and looked at it. Contractors Licensing Board has looked at it. They found some serious defects. But everything was passed through the inspection process. There were a couple of individual inspections that Gunter did not do. But by and large, he did the inspections on a lot of different aspects of the house, never flagged any issues, signed off on anything. Certificate of occupancy came through. Everything that was supposed to happen happened, but these issues that were there just were not caught, were not found.
And we don't know if this was a mistake, if this was an oversight. We don't really know what to attribute that to, or whether or not other homes that he inspected might have had the same situation. We just don't know that at this point.
Right.
Well, we will be back after the break, and we're going to talk about what happened next. Welcome back to the WRAL Daily Download. So, Pritchard, right before the break, we were talking about this county inspector who did look at the property and missed a lot of these violations. What happened to him? And it also appears from your reporting that he wasn't the only one who knew or should have known there might be problems with the home.
Yeah, so he was relieved of his duties by the county, and after an investigation, his inspection certification was blocked by the state, so he's no longer doing inspections at this point. During kind of this whole process, I mean, this whole situation played out over a few years, but David Camp is the director of permits and building inspections in Chatham County. He was back and forth on a few different emails. One of the emails Malbec believes was accidentally forwarded to him, essentially saying that, these are some serious issues. Be careful what you say to the homeowner. Now, during the investigation process, Camp claimed that he would say that about any homeowner, any inspection, as they're looking into these types of serious violations. But Malbec certainly saw that as something that didn't quite sit right with him.
Absolutely. And, of course, I'm sure he reached out to the builder, Lindley Builders Incorporated. What kind of response did he get? And as a result of that, what did he decide to do?
So there were discussions back and forth about the issues, what they were, investigating them, how to repair them. Malbec told me that he tried many times to get Lindley to come and fix these issues. They ultimately were not fixed. They couldn't reach an agreement. They couldn't get them repaired. So Malbec decided to sue both Lindley and the county.
And the judge did hear this lawsuit. What did he decide?
So from this lawsuit, first off, the county was granted governmental immunity. So they were not held responsible essentially for their part in the inspections and the missed problems from those inspections. This all came down to what the builder was liable for. And essentially a judge did find fault in that civil case against the builder, ordered a $225,000 judgment in favor of the Malbecs. That was about 2 months ago to this point. The Malbecs have not gotten any of that money.
And what about the liability or lack of liability of the county?
So at this point, we've reached out to the county. We've contacted them, multiple county commissioners, multiple people who were involved in this whole situation. The only response we've gotten back was a brief statement saying that while they empathize with the Malbecs and what has happened to them in this situation, the courts found them not responsible legally, and therefore that's the end of it for them as far as it seems.
But it wasn't the end of it for this family. I know the husband was very frustrated by what had happened, and he took his frustration to the internet, to YouTube. So tell me about that.
He did. And he went through pretty much every step that you would think to go through, applied and appealed to every agency who might be able to help him. And when that really didn't go anywhere, he took his fight public. He went to YouTube. He posted a 16-minute clip going into detail, documentation about what happened, some of the issues, warning people in Chatham County that this is what he went through and be aware of it. He really said that he was trying to raise awareness. That post in 2 weeks, I think, has gotten 14,000 views and a few dozen comments. People really seem to be responding to what he posted there.
Now, of course, I'm sure you reached out for your reporting to the county and the builder. Did you hear anything back?
So the county, just that one statement. As far as the builder goes, I did get a hold of him. We did speak on the phone for about 15 minutes. He said that he attempted to make repairs to the home and that the Malbecs would not let him do that. But the Malbecs did provide documented emails that show them asking specifically for him to come out and make repairs. Lindley also told me that it would cost about $50,000 to repair the home, which is far less than some of the engineers that Malbec had mentioned to us. But in court, that same claim was made. And again, the engineers that Malbec used and has full reports from, they say that those repairs that are suggested, $50,000 by Lindley, are just not enough to fix the structural issues.
Closer to $500,000. So what's the takeaway here? I mean, obviously, if you live in Chatham County and you've had your home inspected in the last few years, you need to probably check it, make sure that, these problems don't exist. But I mean, this probably could happen anywhere.
It probably could. And, it's difficult because inspections are required. You can go through the county. You can also certainly hire somebody to do inspections on your behalf that are outside of the county. But, I mean, that's expensive. So that's another big cost. So it really does it's a difficult situation for people who are building homes and just something to really watch carefully when your home is being constructed, just double checking, making sure that everything is on the up and up the way that it's supposed to be.
And if you see a red flag, don't wait to talk about it. Make sure you flag that at that moment.
Exactly, because this could have and should have been caught. These issues with the foundation and the footers, these could have been caught way early in the build and made this much less of a problem than it is now.
What's next for this family? I mean, they haven't seen any of the money from the lawsuit. They're kind of in a pickle.
They are. They're struggling to kind of find out where to go next. They are still searching. They are warning people that this can happen, and they're really hoping that by having the story out there that maybe this will instigate some sort of change on behalf of homeowners.
Well, Pritchard, thank you so much for breaking this down for us, and hopefully this family will eventually get some relief, and these are good warning signs for people building and buying homes. And thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download. Please take a minute and give us a 5-star rating in Apple Podcasts. Your rating and review will help other listeners find the show. We really appreciate it. Thanks again for listening.